Hello, Dinosaur Omelette friends. Christopher here. Today, we're going to be cooking quail, freshly butchered quail. Unfortunately, I had to dispatch 3 of these guys this week, but they've been sitting in the fridge getting ready to be cooked up. So I'm going to show you guys how to cook quail today. If you guys are new here, if you're not familiar with this, hit the like and subscribe button. We do like that. It encourages us to do more videos. I'm the guy who cooks, so I'm the chef here in the house and the dispatcher of critters. I would like to share with you the cooking process of quail. So this might be unfamiliar to a lot of people. If you have never seen a quail, you're wondering what is a quail? Why am I doing that? So we have a ton of information about that on our YouTube channel here and also our Facebook. The quail are an exceptional meat producing and egg producing bird that do not require a ton of space like a traditional chicken. And they are a fraction of the cost to start up and raise to start your own food program. But I encourage you to investigate that on your own if it's something you're curious about. So quail is a small bird about the size of grapefruit, certainly smaller than a chicken. So with quail, when you're raising them and you're doing a meat program like we have, you're going to raise it in volume at scale. You're not going to be raising 1 quail to feed a family, but you'll raise 4 or 5. 1 quail is probably enough to feed 1 person, maybe 1.5, especially when you have sides or you're serving it over rice or something like this. Now, I've been cooking a long time, so making a meal like this is no big deal. I never really use recipes. You kind of get used to what ingredients you like and how you like to cook. And for me today with this, I think I'm just going to half the birds that you saw. We're going to cut them in half. We're going to sear them, right? Cook them in the nice cast iron skillet. By the way, I highly recommend cast iron if you have that. I'm going to be using an enameled cast iron pot right there, or a cast iron skillet. The enamel really prevents the meat from sticking. So a traditional cast iron, it's that dark iron just exposed, where you're going to have to oil it or season the pan. So you're going to want to have a seasoned pan. Unfortunately, I don't have all the good fresh ingredients like the spices. It's towards the end of winter, beginning of spring, and I haven't really got anything planted yet. And I'm throwing this together with what I found in the fridge and what was laying around the cabinet. But the ingredients are pretty simple. Besides the quail, I'm going to use a white wine, okay, in this sauce, butter, maybe a little bit of cream, olive oil, and we're going to sear the quail, and we're going to sear the onion and garlic, which is also going in here. So it's really that, and that's how simple this is. So it's going to be seared onion, garlic, a little bit of spice, salt and pepper, obviously. I'm going to sear the quail, darken it, and then let it cook in that fluid in the white wine and the cream and butter sauce. And that's really it. The thing will be done very quickly. So besides our delicious quail, red onion, freshly chopped garlic, and a delicious Sicilian organic olive oil. Oh, it's the best. You can use regular olive oil, but I do love my olive oil, dipping bread and garlic. It's good for you too, good for your skin. Grass-fed butter, white wine, and a little white vinegar. Just a splash. And of course, we're going to throw in a little Italian spices, some sage. It's good for poultry. It's a light flavor. Because the powerful flavor in here, of course, is going to be the garlic and the onion. And the onion, of course, if you've never seared it before, cooked onion becomes caramelized, and it's sweet, and it's delicious. All right, so let's have these. And the reason we're going to have them is because I want them to lie flat in the pan when they're searing, rather than having this whole cavity to have to get filled up by the hot gases from the steam from the ingredients. So we're just going to have them. And as you can tell, they cut very easily. But look at this. Those who are the naysayers who don't eat these things. There's a lot of meat in a quail. So that is a substantial amount of meat for the size of this bird. So there we go. Nice and halved, clean, pretty meat. You see that? Legs. So that is 3 halved quails. It's actually a substantial amount of meat. Okay, so let's go throw all this goop into the old cooker. All right, cool. So I got this here on a medium-high heat. We're going to add a little olive oil. And by a little, I mean good amount. You don't want this meat sticking. You want it to cook nice and evenly. Place your birds in the pan. I think I'm going to do meat side down first, not cavity side. You see that? There's the rib cavity. So I'm going to leave that upwards. I'm going to sear the meat side down first. As this is cooking, move it around so it doesn't stick. It's not going to stick very easily if you're using a good piece of cookware or properly seasoned cast iron pot, but you still want to move it around so it doesn't adhere or get any spot where it does burn to it. Now, while that's cooking like that, I'm going to add my onion and my garlic to the side. This pan is big enough that they can be buddies and share some space. And I'm going to add my butter over here with my onion and garlic. Oh man, I tell you, is there even a better smell than garlic and onion cooking in the house? I don't know what it is. It's delicious. All right, great. You see that browning? That's exactly what you want. So now we're getting that nice seared edge and that nice browning and that beautiful color on the meat. The other good thing about these cast iron pots is that they have an even heat throughout the bottom of the surface. Now that's just about done, so I'm going to cover it up. Before I do, I'm going to add a little bit of vinegar, a little bit, the white wine, and some cream, and of course my spices, and we're going to let it sit there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not very long. Very little bit of vinegar. Some salt. And a little bit of cream. Beautiful. Oh man, that looks good. I wish you guys could smell this. All right, now I'm going to turn my heat down to a low simmer, cover it up, and let it sit for just 3-4 minutes. Not very long. And it's done. So that is a really easy, simple, delicious quail dinner. And that's what quail comes out to be when you cook it at home. Ah, will you look at that? That looks delicious. And guess what? It is delicious. It's very easy to make. So if you guys don't cook, give it a try. It's not very intimidating. And for you guys who are raising quail and wondering, should I make them into my meat birds? Yes, the answer is yes. Spoiler alert. They're easy to grow. They produce a ton of meat. They're delicious. They're easy to cook, and they're a lot easier to process than chickens. So if you're raising quail, it would probably be in your best interest to turn them into dinners. And, I appreciate you guys stopping in to watch this. This is just one recipe. I mean, you can do a million things with these birds. I put them in the pressure cooker, take the meat out. I turn them into what do you call it? Fajita, right? Shred it up and add it into there. There's a million things you can do with the quail. But this is one thing. I just want to show you how easy it is to cook them, how quickly they cook. This only took me, I want to say what? From start to finish, you could do this meal in, I guess, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most, maybe. Once you get your groove down, you know what you're doing. It doesn't take much time. But that's what it is with everything, just a little practice. So thanks for stopping in, get in the kitchen, practice cooking, bring the kids out, teach them how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, put in a little, like I said, a little bit of practice. You're going to learn, and it's a very easy thing to do. And last time I checked, people try and save a nickel, and you're going to save a lot of money learning how to cook for yourselves and the appreciation you have for the food that you cook when you raised it yourself. If it's a bird or just a tomato, it tastes 1,000 times better when you know you made it. Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you on the next one.